Hey guys, Griselle here, and today I'm going to be going over my HB90 planner, which if you don't know, I recently posted a video, so I'll link it somewhere above. I started using Sarah Cannon's HB90 planner. She is the author who has the Heart Breathings channel here on YouTube, and she provides all kinds of really great content on how to improve your writing, how to work on your craft, develop productivity strategies for being a writer. And this is a planner that she designed based on her own methods, and she sells it through Etsy. She's got a quarterly planner that she updates and an undated planner, and I purchased the undated planner so I could just print it ad nauseum as many times as I need, whenever I need, even if the quarters don't match. So the idea behind her planner is that it is best to work in 90-day chunks and sort of like revisit each quarter, see what you accomplished, and kind of revise from there. So the idea is to create small actionable goals, which are the best kinds of goals, in order to improve your writing and sort of like facilitate writing within your life. So I'm going to go over the planner and how I use it. I do use it as a binder size. She provides the PDF so that you can print it out in multiple sizes. She explains how to do like A5 sizes and everything. I wanted to try the A5, but that would require buying the special paper and the hole puncher and all that, so I decided to just go with the standard paper size, 8.5 by 11, and try that from there. I didn't know how I was going to feel about this planner when I first purchased it, but I wanted a dedicated planner for my current work in progress and my query process. So this is what I purchased, and I did say in that last video that I would come back to it once I had been using it, because that was right before the start of the quarter video. And now I'm going to show you guys. So I'm going to dive into the planner and take you through it and give you a glimpse of how I have used this. I did sort of adapt it from her method a little, and I'll show you guys how. Let's dive in. So this is my HB90 method planner created by author Sarah Cannon, and this is from her Heart Breathings channel. And it's designed to serve as a 90-day planner in order to plan your quarterly projects. So this one started in April through June, and I set it up on a 3-ring binder, and I added these tabs and things just to kind of make it easy for myself to go through it. I also have some stickers here on the side. I have some notes that I keep in the inner flap, and I just kind of wrote a little index card for myself with my writing goals for the year. Plus added some stickers, because of course, stickers, you gotta do that. So this planner takes you through sort of a step-by-step how to get started as a writer, or at least how to get started with your planning for your project. So it's really nicely designed. She has quotes, she has implemented a very nice style to it. I think it's beautifully designed and crafted. I am just in awe of anybody who creates their own planner, because it's one of those things I love but could never like conceivably see myself creating one. So I love finding stuff that meets my needs that has been designed by somebody else. So she has a vision statement section, which she does encourage like manifestation and stuff, so there you go. And then a vision board where she says like, make your dreams come true, write exactly what you want. In a manifestation sort of way. I'm not big on manifesting, so I haven't really filled out the vision board section. That's not really my jam, but I kind of left it there. Maybe I'll come back to it and play around with it, but I'm not big on the vision board idea. It's just not me. She then has areas to declutter your brain. So this is kind of a brain dump, what you have to do in order to accomplish your 90-day goals. So I just kind of wrote through that. And these kind of go on for a bit. Here's the what should I do, what I want to do, so that you can sort of figure out your actual important tasks. I didn't focus so much on these areas because I'm not currently a selling writer, whereas she is. So these are designed, I would say, more so for authors who are self-publishing and selling and need like to develop a marketing strategy or a selling strategy, or authors who are being traditionally published and have certain things they have to meet. Right now I am a aspiring author, I am a writer, I am writing projects, and I am seeking representation. So my goals look a little different from those of a traditionally or self-published, currently publishing author. So I tried to make the best that I could of these and worked with it. This is the one that I found really especially helpful. She has this time estimator, and here she encourages you to consider how much you will really realistically be working. And this was kind of radical to me, because I know that there are days when I will be ill. I know that every month there are days where I'm knocked out by migraines, And there are days where things happen at work that kind of drain me, and I need to re-energize before I can get back into the right mindset to write. My work life involves, I would say, more mental stress than physical stress, but it is still a stressor, and it does affect my productivity, especially if I'm coming home to write or if I just don't have the energy to do it once I get home. So she encourages you to calculate your working days. So here she says to realistically think and take into consideration, on average, how many days a month you miss. And the idea is that over a number of quarters, you'll have a stronger sense of this. So I went through my symptom tracker for my period app and looked at how many days on average I get major migraines related to hormones, at least. And it comes out to at least 6 to 8 days a month. So I planned out 6 to 8 days a month, and then here she gives you how many days of extra time are you willing to give yourself. So generally, I have some wiggle room. I do get vacation time, and this was a period where I had vacation planned already. So I gave myself an extra 5 days of writing time. I actually decided to use up some of my vacation earlier and gave myself a few extra days in April. So this was based on the initial estimate. And so my initial estimate is the number of days I plan to work in this 90-day quarter. It was realistically, if I looked at, how many days I would probably be knocked out by migraines, and I added in the days of vacation time, in an ideal situation, I would have had 70 to 64 working days. So this was just a preliminary plan, sort of like a plan for the worst, so that you can plan around the time you're going to need off. It worked. It really helped, and this is something that I see myself using in the future because it's planning for the days that you need off. If you have a job that gives you benefits, you already have days off built in because you will be sick. You will need to take time off. It's kind of the same thing if you're writing or working on a creative pursuit. Your brain cannot possibly keep up with it day in and day out and not take a break. So thinking of it in this way really helped, and I really appreciated this particular section. This is an ongoing task list. I haven't quite kept up with it. Again, I feel that some of these are more tailored to the publishing author than the aspiring author, so that's what that is. She's also got an ideal week, and this helped me sort of block out when I really get my writing done. There are certain times of the day, especially in the morning, when I prefer to write, so I kind of like restructured my work schedule in order to fit in my writing schedule, and it's been very helpful. Obviously not every day looks like this, but this is my ideal weekly schedule. And then she's got sections for goals. You can set your goals, brainstorming, again, not really that much that I need to do right now. And then your major goals. My goals this time around were to work on the first draft of my current project, continue querying and work on that strategy, and develop my craft in writing. Again, for an actual publishing author, these would look very different. For somebody who's still aspiring and working towards, these felt like SMART goals to me. Future projects that you can sort of like brain dump in here, and then projects and tasks. She kind of breaks it down. This is where you can kind of estimate how long it will take you to go through your projects for each of those 3 goals. This is kind of rough for me because I'm still, flexible in these areas, just breaking it down. And then like more detailed goal sections. Again, my details are kind of just like, get the draft done and stuff like that, like write the next query. So these aren't that significant for me right now, but they hopefully will be in the future. She also has a Kanban. I have watched a couple of her videos on the Kanban method. Again, I think this will be more effective for me in future, but I sort of tried to play with it, especially with the first draft, and just kind of blocking out how many words I thought I would get through each month before the draft was finished. So those were my Kanban goals for the main project. She's got the year overview future log thing, very helpful. This is the undated one, but she does include 2 years worth of that. And then the calendars themselves. So for every month, this is a 3-month planner. She does have a blank calendar, so I filled in the details. I bought some stickers because I wanted to decorate and make this slightly nicer. So these are Happy Planner stickers. And I bought, well, I didn't buy them. These came in the Happy Planner. I started using the green dots to indicate a chapter finished and the red dots to indicate a word goal met. And so that's why you see them scattered throughout. She then has for each week a task guide where you can kind of write out based on, like for instance, that Kanban board, and kind of like bring them into the weeks, what you're working on that week. And then in addition, a growth tracker. These I started using for the podcast a little bit, and then sort of like your work in progress goals, blog posts, priorities for the week, and then other tasks that have to happen. So this is kind of like a dashboard overview. Then there's a week planner. And again, this is more so designed for the publishing writer. So she has a promo section along the bottom, which, you know, somebody who is self-publishing would obviously have marketing goals for the week, you know, hitting up Facebook ads or Instagram or whatever. I'm actually just using it for the podcast. So it's actually helped because my co-host is trying to encourage me to do more of the social media stuff. So this has been helpful. This top part is a sort of week at a glance area. I don't normally use a week at a glance type of a thing, so I was not used to using it, but as I started using the planner, this became really helpful, especially on the weekends. So I would either do my planning on a Sunday night or a Monday morning, which tends to work for me, and I included some meal prep stuff, like some areas of the project that I needed to work on, and then I had notes on the side. She had a little habit tracker. These work to varying levels of success for me because I'm just not like the biggest person at like digital. I'm not the biggest person at manually tracking my habits. I tend to use digital trackers, so those are hit or miss for me. But then every day has its own dedicated page, and this is where the real meat of this planner comes in. This is where I adapted it a little bit. She has her own method of using this. This is a schedule because it does have numbers here. I don't know if you guys can see them very well because of the size, but there is from 6 to 10, just the hours listed on here, and these help me to sort of structure my day and figure out what has to happen when and where I can block off writing time, whether it's, you know, before work, after work, during a lunch break. And she also has a section up here for like to-dos that you have to highlight. So for instance, our podcast goes live on the 1st, so this was podcast episode promo day. But here, I started to use the planner more as a writing journal. So the way I structured it was that this little tiny square over here, I ended up using to track my writing sprints. So I would know how many words I was getting done for each sprint and have a sense of how quickly I was writing. I used the main portion in order to write a little fast draft of what am I writing today and where did I leave off, because I tend to be one of those writers who leaves off either at the end of a scene or in the middle of one. And I always like to know what's happening next. If it's completing the scene, I'll put in the details of what's supposed to happen then, especially if it's because I was interrupted or I was working on a lunch break and I just didn't have the time to complete the full scene. If I am reaching the end of a scene, I kind of write out like, well, this is what has to happen tomorrow. Or if I reach the end of a chapter, where this is what has to happen at the beginning of the next. So that's what I do there. And then this other little square down here, I started to use as a how did I feel journal. So as I was writing, if I was experiencing symptoms that were potentially affecting my writing productivity, for instance, on this very first day, I was tired and had PMS and generally felt exhausted. So that definitely probably affected my writing. So I started to track those symptoms in that section, and this worked very well. I was extremely pleased with my progress as I was using this. So every day, I kind of filled this up. And if you watch my recent empties, this is the pen that I used up this month. I also used a pink one. At the end of each week, she has a reflection page where you can see what you're most proud of, what challenges you faced, are you on target, etc. And an expense tracker for writers, again, who are actively publishing or selling. I actually ended up using it to track the expenses towards craft development, or towards any writing related fees, because I am planning on starting to do some expense tracking and potentially tax break stuff, because if I go to a conference or something, I'm going to start being better about putting my writing taxes in. I do actually write professionally. I do write professional reviews, so there are writing expenses that I could be claiming and I am just not. So I'm tracking that in that area. But yeah, this has been an awesome planner. I have now reached, let's see, I am now on, I have to do month 3rd. This was for May, so I bought these, I don't remember now. Avery, I think, produces these. I got these on Amazon just so I could flip quickly, and I made these labels for them. So I've got a month, a week, a today one, and I need to update this because there were a few days where I finished the project and didn't really use the planner. So I kind of took a break from writing for a few days before I print out and start working on the edits for a different draft. So that is project 1 complete, and moving on to project 2 again. So I've got to set up June, and I have to set up the stuff for this week. But other than that, it's been amazing using this planner. There's a note section that I haven't really made much use of yet, but I probably will as I start going through planning for the edits I'm going to make on the other project. She also had a word tracker, which I used in combination with a spreadsheet that I have on Google Sheets that has way too many formulas and stuff in order to see how much I wrote per week, break it down, and how much I have left to write and all that mess. But this was a nice way of just kind of visually getting an overview of it. I see how much I wrote, how many hours I spent sprinting, how much I wrote per day, how much was the total. I could see my progress as I finished the draft. And I am going to move on to using her time tracker, because she does have a time log option. I'm going to print out a few more of these as I work on editing a different draft that I wrote a few years ago, and that's my next major writing project, is getting that draft into workable shape. I'm going to use a time log because the idea of keeping track of words as I'm editing has not served me that great in the past, so I think maybe working on a time estimate tracker and actual time will be a more effective tool. So we'll see where it goes, but that is my review of the HB90 planner. I highly recommend it if you're a creative person. It's adaptable. If you're writing, this is a really easy tool to use. I think it worked out great. It really got me through this project, and I can see it getting me through the next one. As I start editing, I'm going to use this for editing notes rather than draft notes and see how it goes. So that is what I have. I'll probably use the sprint section for the time tracking and then put that into the log. But yeah, that's what I'm working with. I really love this planner, and I see myself printing out more of it. I did print it on some nice heavy duty bright white paper. This is, I want to say this was 25 weight paper because it was the paper I used for my promotion file at work, and I had a lot left. So it's a really good job. This has been wonderful. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you're a writer and want to know more about this planner, or just the planning person and want to know more about this planner, let me know, and I'll let you know my response. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.